Good morning, everybody, and welcome again to another crisp, beautiful morning out here in the African bush. We are really enjoying this morning because it's my last morning with you all, so I'm very, very excited. I'm going to be hanging out in the west, hopefully be able to get a glimpse at Shidulu, and I want to see some elephants. Hi, everyone, it's me, Trishal. I've got Panda on camera with me, and we're ready to rock and roll. We hope that you are too. Remember, it's your live safari, so use that hashtag WildEarth to chat to us, and you can also go to our website and use our questions and comments box. We'd love to hear whatever you have to say, and whatever questions you have. And if you're under 18, you must have lots and lots of questions, I'm sure. Please send them to kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. It seems like it's getting chillier and chillier as we move further into June. Understandably, it is winter. And I must report that I didn't hear any alarm calls last night or this morning, but we did hear lines that sounded very far, probably in Buffelshoek to the north. So I am going to be hanging out in the west, at least for the first portion of this morning, and see if we can get some time with Shidulu. Oh, Kabuki, you're wearing your Bumble trousers today. I hope you've got a pair of patience pants too. They're very useful in the bush. Very, very useful. I think I have a patience blanket on today. I've decided that I'm no longer going to suffer with the cold. I'm going to have a big fat blanket to put over my bottom half, which indeed I do have. I'm seeing lots of antelope just kind of scattered all over the place. The fact that they're scattered is indicative of maybe a predator not being in this particular area, because if they can smell a predator, they tend to huddle, be maybe on one side of quarantine, or in an actual group huddling together. But they seem like, they scattered here and there, here and there. I was just hoping that we could have a look at the chameleon that I found last night, if I could find it again. It's just so nice to see it in full daylight color instead of in infrared. So let's try this out. I will also have to remember where it was. I think it was here. Oh, there it is. Oh, this is lovely. Let's see if Panda can do this. So Panda, it's straight in here. If you zoom in, I'll be able to point it out on the monitor for you if you can't see him already. Closer? Okay, so there he is.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Isn't it just beautiful? So beautiful. Now you can see why I like to show it to you in daylight colors instead of in infrared. Look at that. What a stunning, stunning creature. And remember that last night with the infrared light, we saw that the ridges on its body were differently colored. It was darker. And as we can see in the body, there is a color difference on those ridges. Looks like a watermelon with those stripes. And yesterday evening when we saw this chameleon, its eyes were closed. It was having a good old sleep. Now it's ready for the chilly day, having fun in its buffalo thorn. maybe we'll get a hunt.
Thought you had daddy issues? Well, think again. Not all dads in the wild have the most commendable parenting skills. Here at WildEarth, we've seen many fathers who will go to the end of the earth for their young. And also, tragically, the ones who'd rather just eat them for breakfast. In honor of Father's Day on the 19th of June, we're excited to welcome James Henry back to WildEarth to host a special Explorers Fireside Chat in honor of all the wild dads at Djuma.
7 of our favorite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Ntima's second born, and dare we say golden child, full of fun? Is their name Kira, the beam of light? Is it Kemba, meaning faithful in Norse? Or is it Mikateko, the blessed one? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
Wow, it's so amazing to see it close up like this. Plus, it's quite close to us, so we really get to see the detail that some of you noticed last night. In fact, you noticed the textured skin last night. Now you get a good look at just how textured it is, because it's so nice and close. Wow! Thanks, everyone. You're all happy I found Fernando before I left. I can't remember why we named it Fernando, that one there, Twin Dams. In fact, it is our beard. Our beard says it's rather stunning. It really is. It's particularly patterned, this one. Not that others are not patterned. It's just that this one is expressing its pattern quite strongly this morning. It could be because it's quite cold, and so there's a lot more darker patches. But it's really, really, really looks great. So it's going to survey its little spot here, and then it's going to get moving for the day, albeit slowly, but it will get moving. Oh, so glad to see this chameleon. I really want to be able to see them actually moving about, going about their day, and maybe getting an insect. So maybe we come here this afternoon to check him out too. Anyway, let me send you over to Andrew. He's going to be taking the morning drive, and he's at the Hyena Den.
Hello again, folks. We are here at the Hyena Den, and as you can see, they are extremely active. Everybody's present and awake this morning, and we actually have one of the youngsters right next to the car. And if I say 5 centimeters from the car, that'd be a bit of an exaggeration. It's right here by my shoes. Absolutely beautiful. Good morning, everybody. We meet again. My name's Andrew. Behind the camera, we have Gert. Yeah, it's a great pleasure to come here this morning and have a great sighting of these hyenas with you. Yeah, let's enjoy it. It's quite a nice sighting this morning. Look at this. They're very active this morning. This one is very curious by us. Alrighty. So just to do a bit of a roll call, and the Bele is actually in the entrance of the mound there. There she is. You can just see the top of the ear there. Amazing. Now she's a little bit sleepy there, but the ear is out the hole, and definitely able to hear anything that's might approach this area. Here comes another youngster towards my vehicle now. All right, and then Swazi is also fast asleep here. And this youngster in front of us has got a a pod from a, what is it, a large fruited bush willow. Just having fun with it.
Long misunderstood as dim-witted, gluttonous scavengers, the hyena over the years has had a serious PR crisis on its paws. Here at WildEarth, our beloved Djuma clan has allowed us a chance to set the record straight.
We're sitting here with the Djuma clan.
So now it's time to honor this critical animal and join our hyena hullabaloo. Trishala Naidu, a self-confessed hyena lover, will be leading the celebrations, culminating in a chance to name Ribbon's new cubs.
All right, so not too cold this morning. I think that's why these hyenas are nice and active and awake, celebrating some warm mornings. The last 2 or 3 mornings has been bitterly cold, but this morning I feel like I'm a little bit overdressed. I've got 3 layers on. I think it's a bit too much, but I'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. Last thing I want to do is shiver in the front seat here and you all are watching me. Yeah, so I'd rather just be comfortable. We can delayer later on in the morning. Oh. Sound like a kudu alarm calling out in the distance there. Just give a listen. One of the hyenas here has definitely heard that. Head is up, and that'll be Swazi. Swazi woke up, and ears are open, and she wanted to know where that sound is coming from and what exactly is happening. Now, what's interesting is that kudu, that is alarm calling, doesn't only indicate, yes, there's food out there, there's a kudu nearby, but because of the alarm call, maybe that kudu is seeing a lion or some other sort of animal. And so, yeah, hyenas will use the other animals within their environments to try and decipher what's going on, what other animals are in the area. Not just prey, but competition. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lovely. Absolutely, Michelle. OMG times 1000. This is a fantastic visual. Thanks for your comment there. I definitely agree with you. You can't get better than this, eh? Look at this youngster. He's got some sort of a jawbone in his mouth and they all want a piece of it. Give me, give me. Sure, and they are quite young, so as soon as one of them has got something, the others want to be included. They want to know what's going on there. I want some. Share with me. See the other youngsters going there as well now. Absolutely amazing, folks. Absolutely amazing. Lots of birds are calling around us at the moment. It's a red-billed woodhoopoo. That's the old name. The new name is a green woodhoopoo calling in the distance. The sun is starting to rise now. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I mean, how privileged can you be watching the sun rising, coming above the horizon, while we're watching some hyenas? All right, we're going to send you over to Chris. Good morning, Chris. I hope you have a good time out there. We'll send you over to Chris in the meantime.
I've been looking forward to this for about 2 weeks, believe it or not. My first Pridelands sunrise for this shot. And let's just, again, take a moment to really soak this up. It just never gets old, does it, eh? Well, at Pridelands, it's rather cold. I know that Andrew said that it's not so cold at Djuma. I tell you, I'm freezing. My name is Chris, and with me on camera today is Hippo. And our plan today is firstly to defrost, and then we're going to try and see if there's anything to track, and literally just wing it and see what we can find. Sort of slowly ease into it.
Seven of our favourite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Ribbon's second-born, with nicked ears and a softer heart full of adventure. Is their name Rangani, the adventurer? Is it Twela, the sensitive and empathetic one? Or is it Spirit, for that spirited soul we love so much? Head over to our website to cast your vote. 7 of our favourite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Ribbon's firstborn, distinct from their sibling by their full round ears and more curious nature. Is their name Matimba, meaning strength? Is it Shongela, the defender of the weak? Or is it Wiley, the crafty and cheeky one? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
And like I said, you know, on these cold mornings, not only enjoying the sunrise, but taking a quiet moment just to listen out for some sounds, the birds waking up. But the air is denser, and therefore sound will travel further. So it's a great opportunity to listen out for alarm calls, for lions roaring, leopards rasping, all those type of things, branches breaking. Just happy to be back, and I know there's a lot of our viewers who's also welcoming you back. Thank you, everybody. But while I'm going to defrost in the sunrise, let's get over to Trish and see what she's up to.
We haven't moved from here. It's a good opportunity and a good place to sit and listen for a little bit. So I thought while we're sitting and listening, we can still have visuals of this little guy. Plus the sun has come out now, so it's lit up his face or her face very, very nicely. I'm not hearing too much. I was keeping an ear out for alarm calls for the magic leopard that seems to be living in quarantine that we hear alarm calls for but don't ever see. But things seem pretty peaceful. Plus the kind of scattered distribution of the antelope. It's telling me that I think we might be fine. Not too much happening here. Kabuki, your bumble trousers are working today. I think, Kabuki, you've got to send us all a pair of bumble trousers. What exactly bumble trousers would look like? I think obviously winter bumble trousers are different to summer bumble trousers. Winter bumble trousers are fleece lined, and it's got animals all around it. Summer bumble trousers are loose fitting and with even more brightly colored animals printed all around it. At least that's what I imagine. Both, of course, being super comfy to aid the bumble. Look at that. Those independent eye movements. I know, Salt and Pepper. Me too. That was half the reason I stayed. I could have stopped and listened further on, but it's such a beautiful sight. And the thing is that when we can get so nice and close with the camera, with this light, it's not something you would see if you come on safari. You will see chameleons, but the circumstances to make this a really beautiful picture have all come together this morning. So it's always worth it to spend a little bit more time. Now, before it gets moving, I will have to warm up quite a bit. So maybe towards the end of the drive, I'll come check again, and then in the afternoon as well. I just want to get it on the move and maybe a little hunt. Ooh.
The Safari Guide of the Year 2022 is approaching us rapidly. This year, we'll be heading to Bushwise Field Guides at the Southern African Wildlife College from the 27th June till the 2nd of July. We will soon meet all our contestants who are vying for the prize of being the very best of the best, and the judges who will put them through their paces. Join me, Steve Falconbridge, as we dream it, guide it, win it.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
Okay, off we go. And I'm gonna send you over to Andrew, who's still at the den. He's right, those cubs are out and about, and I hope he has a great time.
Yeah, we're still here at the den. Trish, well done on that chameleon. I haven't seen one of those chameleons in quite a while, but yeah, good one there. So yeah, these hyenas are still very active. We've been watching them playing with each other. They've been hurdling over each other like they're in the Olympics. I mean, it's quite clumsy, and it's quite funny. It's really comical and entertaining watching these spotted hyenas. But folks, on a serious side, I just want to go through the differences between brown hyena and spotted hyena. Spotted hyenas are a lot smaller than this. I know we have the frame on a youngster over here, but with a full-grown adult hyena, spotted hyena is very, very large. Brown hyenas also, they operate very solitary. They're not as social as the spotted hyenas. Very, very solitary, very secretive animals. Brown hyenas, they can vocalize, but they prefer not to, and they do most of their communications via pastings, which are anal secretions, actually, on the top blades of the grass. Brown hyenas are, like I said, a lot smaller, with a lot of long brown hair throughout the body. The spotted hyenas, of course, have got spots, and their hair is a bit shorter than that of brown hyena. Yeah. If you want to see brown hyena, you really have to get into the habitats. They're very area-specific animals. Certain parts of Africa, if you want to see brown hyena, would be places like the Kalahari in Namibia. Eastern Cape has got as well. And I do believe Kruger National Park has got a small pocket of brown hyena as well, which is quite nice. I've never seen brown hyena. Throughout the years I've been traveling in the Kruger National Park, I've never seen brown hyena before in the Kruger National Park. So, yeah, it would be something quite nice to have a look at. Brown hyenas. Look at that, eh? Got half a hyena there. Quite important for them to chew on branches like this and chew on things. The development of the teeth, as well as to keep them clean. You can see a bit of a vapor coming out the nose there. There's some vapor coming out of my nose as well. All right, Leslie, morning. I've never seen ribbons yet. So I'll have to go and have a look at what she looks like. But yeah, I'm glad you've got your favorites out there and you've got your favorite characters. It tells us that you're watching us quite a bit, and we thank you very much for that. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. Look at this, right in front of the vehicle. So it's about, I would say about 1.5 meters, 2 meters at most. Beautiful, beautiful. A green urupu is calling again. You're going to notice a lot of the birds are going to vocalize early morning, late evening. This is a way that they're going to re-establish their territories from the night before, and so on, and before they go to bed as well. And that's the reason why birds are vocal. Animals don't do things for no reason. So if you hear something or you see something in nature, you got to constantly challenge yourself. Why? Why are they doing it? Why is it like that? All right. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Magic.
Does your dad watch WildEarth? Why not send him a special message on Father's Day? Possibly he's living elsewhere and you can connect through WildEarth. Or maybe he'll be sitting next to you on the sofa. Either way, show him you care by logging into our website and submitting your message, which we hope to relay on Safari Live. WildEarth, it's in your nature. Thought you had daddy issues? Well, think again. Not all dads in the wild have the most commendable parenting skills. Here at WildEarth, we've seen many fathers who will go to the end of the earth for their young. And also, tragically, the ones who'd rather just eat them for breakfast. In honor of Father's Day on the 19th of June, we're excited to welcome James Henry back to WildEarth to host a special Explorers Fireside Chat in honor of all the wild dads at Djuma.
Morning, Sandy, really? Wow, that's fantastic. You are very lucky, hey? Very, very lucky. There are certain animals out in Africa, in the bush, that are there that you're not really likely to see unless you are extremely lucky. So if I can encourage you to go on safaris more, because it seems like you've got a bit of a lucky streak there. Yeah, I've never seen brown hyena in the Lowveld Kruger National Park. I have seen them elsewhere, but not here. So yeah, you one up of me. And I've been in the bush for a few years now, so well done. Well done. There we go. Nice view of the mound again. And the den. Prior reminder, yeah, that's actually a very good question. Brown hyenas are very much scavenging animals, not to say that they're going to only scavenge. They're going to actually go for anything that they can overpower, any sort of resource. So I've seen them going for ostrich eggs. It's a common thing with brown hyenas to walk through the bush and they find a clutch of ostrich eggs. Because of their strength in the jaw, they're able to easily snap through that egg and then drink the matter that's inside. And that's what actually they really love the ostrich eggs, because an ostrich egg is so high in protein. It's about 24 chicken eggs inside one ostrich egg. So for an animal, that is a power meal. You're not going to find that easily. So yeah, they'll go actively look for those. Spotted hyenas will also scavenge, but they'll actively hunt as well. Remember, they are in a clan, spotted hyenas, whereas brown hyenas are more solitary. So they're limited in what they can take down, if they take down anything. And of course, brown hyenas will go for injured animals and young lambs and so on and so on, especially during the lambing season of Impala. Before you know it, all the Impalas have given birth and there's just an influx of young lambs. And this provides a niche for animals like hyenas and other predators that they can actually go for those animals, and they have something to catch at some point. All right, the lambing season, if rains are expected on time, we can expect the lambing season for the Impalas around November, December. But if rains are late and it's a drought period, they might even rut late. indicating that there will be some late rains. If they're rutting earlier than what they're supposed to, then you can indicate that there could be some early rains in the season. All right. Yeah, really enjoying these questions that are coming through here. Yeah, folks, don't be shy. If you have any questions, please do send them through. We'll answer them as accurately as possible. And if I don't know, I'll definitely get back to you. Absolutely. Now you can see a bit of the sunshine on the grass. Beautiful. Lucas, morning. Absolutely. When animals play and wrestle each other, this will strengthen their bonds. This is how they get to know each other and form a connection and maintain those connections. So a lot of animals will do this, not just hyenas. We see it in the primates, we see it in the mongoose families, also the rodent families, and so on. So most definitely this is how they're going to keep those bonds solid. Because as you can see, this is a very tight-knit group. It's a family group. They're extremely close to one another, each and every individual here. When you have a clan of hyenas, you don't have outcasts. They are all very much precious to the clan. Yeah, there's various collective nouns for the animals. Each specific species has got its own collective noun. Of course, with hyenas, it's going to be a clan of hyenas, but my favorite is going to be meerkats. It's a gang of meerkats. That's one of my favorite collective nouns. And for those that don't know, and I just found this out recently, humans, their collective noun, it's a race of humans, which makes sense. We are the human race, so a race of humans. Makes a lot of sense. You see how a lot of humans run around, try and get to work, run back, try and get home, try and get to the gym. You know, we do race around.
7 of our favorite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Juma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Swazi's cub, our surprise wanderer. Is their name Saga, meaning story in Icelandic? Is it Matimu, for history made? Or is it Masingita, the surprise? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
WildEarth's Hyena Hullabaloo has arrived. And just to add to the hyena hysteria, we have launched some great new merchandise. Find the latest clothing items on the WildEarth shop and proclaim yourself part of the clan with designs like, I'm a fan of the Juma clan, I named a baby hyena, and more.
All right, I was actually hoping while we were here, this very youngster that's looking at us now, would come up to the vehicle and would do what it was doing earlier on. I had a sniff at my shoe earlier on. Yeah, incredible. And you can see those curious eyes. Just look at those eyes, folks. When you look deep in those eyes, you can see a high amount of intelligence with this species. They are incredibly intelligent. A lot of people, they think hyenas are limited in their intelligence. This is not right. They're very, very smart animals. Magic. Folks, we're going to send you over to Trish. She's busy bumbling around. Let's have a look at what she's busy doing at this point in time.
We are following up on some kudu alarm calls that were heard actually not very far from the den. So we found some nyala and there are some kudu here too. I'm not sure if you saw the big bull that was walking with this group. So now we're just listening for a little bit. But then I had some francolins. further ahead of us. So I just thought we'd listen and I could show them to you quickly, but I do want to get moving.
Going to be leaving the music area, still active.
Maybe Andrew will bump this leopard. That would be fun. It's always nice to have great sightings for your interview drive. I remember for my interview drive, I had some mongoose, some starlings. That pretty much summed up my interview drive. Not very much happening at all. I definitely didn't have beginner's luck. But it seems like almost everybody had a great content for the interview drive. So I hope that if he comes out, I can see the road where the hyena den comes out because it's on the next crest. If he comes out around there, he might see some clues. Oh, Elsa the lion, it's your birthday. You'd love to see some lions? Well, happy birthday, Elsa the lion. We're so glad that you decided to spend your birthday with us, or at least a part of it. Ew, why? The earpiece does not like the cold. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my earpiece and also having a listen at the same time. Now, if I were a leopard, which direction would I want to go in? Down or up? Of course, it'll depend on who I am and what my territory is, so it doesn't help me. But if I had to choose just on my own, I guess I'd go up. So let's go up.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited Safari Guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
Let's see where Ali is gone. Ali? Which way did you take out of the hyena den?
We've just come down towards Treehouse Dam.
Copy that. Can you check Pangolin track? I've checked Ingwe Ali. I found the kudu. They were looking south. But they were also getting quite relaxed, so I'm going to go back up towards Quarantine side, if you can check Pangolin track.
Okay, copy. We've also got just bumped into some tracks now for Amadora, and we're heading towards Treehouse Dam. I'm going to come up Weaver's Nest, check around there.
Okay, copy. Alrighty. Lots of movement. So it appears that there's been lots of movement. But we have not seen it yet. These are, okay. It's just like, if these are leopard tracks over my vehicle tracks, I will be upset. There we go. Okay, let me send you over to Andrew. He's pretty much in the same area. I've just sent them to check out pangolin track area. Let's see if they come up with anything.
All right, nice fish. Seems like you're looking at some cool things there. Yeah, so just after we left the hyena den, we did manage to see male leopard tracks, but the track is full with dew. And as you know, in the night time, the dew is going to fall. It's going to land in the track. And so for us as naturalists, we understand whether that track is from the night time or early morning. So if there's dew pooling up in the track, we know it's from the night time. So we're just going to carry on. There's also an elephant track, a bull elephant track walking around here. Let's carry on. We'll keep mobile and see what else is happening out here. It's just such a privilege to be driving around the Sabi Sands Game Reserve. Absolutely. And for those of you who have actually been here, you know how beautiful it is out here. There's just something about the Sabi Sands and the low velds. It's a very special area. All reserves are special, don't get me wrong. For me personally, I've always enjoyed this area. It's an absolute pleasure to be out here. Lekker morning. The sun is coming out quite nicely now. We are not freezing at all, which is quite a change from the last few days. We've been driving around with icicles on our ears. This morning I already feel like I need to take off one of my layers, which I think I'll do in a little bit. Oh, we've got some arrowmark babblers calling on the side here. Wonderful, lots of birding activity. We're driving past here. Yeah.
We protect and reconnect nature across southern Africa. We bring countries together to care for wild spaces that stretch beyond borders. We protect and restore biodiversity. We prioritize the people living in these landscapes, enabling them to thrive in harmony with nature. We are restoring tomorrow.
Nancy, thanks. That's a nice question that you asked there. I've always been into the bush. I've always loved the bush. When I was a young lad, I knew I was going to the bush since I was very, very young. It's a funny story, in fact. When I was in grade 3, so that would be, standard 1, for some, maybe you're familiar with those. They said to us, come to school dressed as what you want to be when you're older. And I came there in my scout's uniform and everything, so I wanted to be a ranger. But what's funny is some other chap came dressed as Batman. He wanted to be Batman when he was older. That's always stood out to me. But yeah, that's it. This is all I've ever wanted to do. This is all I will do. Yeah, Nancy, thanks for asking that. Yeah, we're just looking for anything that's going to come pouncing, running through the bush. Any sightings of any animals that we can possibly get. Elephant tracks in the road, but going the opposite way to where we're going. Also, last night's spoors, or tracks. Another word for tracks is spoor. It's P-O-O-R. Nice and clean air this morning. It's always clean air out here, but the mornings especially, everything just seems extra crisp, extra fresh. This is why I love the mornings. Yeah, it's cold. Yeah, we want to perhaps stay in bed a little bit longer, but when it comes to going out in the bush, I mean, yeah, this is a very special time in the morning. So I think let's put you back onto Trishala and see what she's up to there. And we're going to keep on scouting through here.
Around for spoor or tracks. And so far nothing to report. So I'm going to actually head down close towards the dam, kind of behind the dam cam. Just to have a look. I have to put on my patience pants. I feel like I've been looking for leopards. Alarm calls, tracks, etc., and I just have not been fruitful. It's probably a result of me being out of the bush for a while as well. So it's one of those things that you have to keep at tracking to get better at it. The only thing is that at least it's not as if I'm too terrible, because those animals actually were not found. So it's not just me. I'm not just horrible at finding leopards. There's a squirrel alarm calling and some impala.
The Safari Guide of the Year 2022 is approaching us rapidly. This year, we'll be heading to Bushwise Field Guides at the Southern African Wildlife College from the 27th June till the 2nd of July. We will soon meet all our contestants who are vying for the prize of being the very best of the best, and the judges who will put them through their paces. Join me, Steve Falconbridge, as we dream it, guide it, win it.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
See, the impala can hear the squirrel. I'm not sure that the impala can see or smell anything. You say the leopards are looking for me. Is it the case of them following me and I'm following them and we never meeting up? Let's just slink down. I love a little roll. Smooth movement, no sound of the vehicle. Just chilled out. It's Wendy's stealth move. We might pop up on the down. I think we might actually just be right here. This way I can see that way, I can see that way, and we can still have a look this way. Those Impala mostly have their heads down, so they've relaxed a little bit. So I'm gonna keep on heading down Twin Dams. And it's alarm calls on quarantine. Okay, let me send you over to Chris and Bushwalk, and I'm going to make my way up towards quarantine. I think I hear alarm calls. Could be ratting though.
Just look at this. This is so pretty. We're in Impala Plains, and I know I have discussed this particular flower a while back. And the reason I'm discussing it again is that I'm surprised that in the middle of winter, we still have flowers around. And it just shows you how this part of the world adapts to conditions. And I remember a month or so ago in May, we had that unexpected rains, very late, lots of rain, and this area just flushed green. Now, for those who did not watch that segment, this is one of my favorite flowers. This is called white mouse whiskers, or white pretty lady, Cleome gynandra. And why I do like this flower so much, as you all know, I'm very interested in survival, edible plants and those type of things. And this is also known in Zimbabwe as Shona cabbage. And in fact, Hippo was very surprised now when I gave him a leaf to eat. I'm going to try and see. Yeah, there we go. Now these leaves are typical of the genus. It's a palmately compound leaf, as you can see. It's got those little 5 little blades, and this is edible. And not only edible, relatively pleasant. Sort of a mix between rocket, reminds me a lot of rocket, but it's got that sort of mustardy, almost burn that you will find when you eat raw cabbage. But this is phenomenal bush food. Eat it raw, you can cook it as a cabbage, put it in your stew, put it in soups. And what I've heard, I've not tried that yet, you take the flowers and this one doesn't have a lot of leaves, but the flowers and the leaves, and as a spinach, much like normal spinach, put a bit of cream into it. It is apparently amazing. Well, I'm definitely going to put some of that in my salad tonight. There's plenty of them out here on Impala Plains. In fact, you can just see. And a while back, about 3 weeks ago, I saw a big kudu bull here, right here, where we're standing. And it's eating this particular plant. So obviously, that's something that they will utilize as well. And it's pretty. Yo, it's got a bit of flower. It's almost got like a bit of a wasabi. Landelia says I need more snacks on drive. Landelia, you know what? I agree. But you know what? All these snacks out here in the bush, why not? You know, let's utilize what's out here. And I think at some stage we'll dedicate one safari on edible plants again. But this one is one of my favorites. But you need to be careful. Not everything you see are edible. There are some toxic plants as well around here.
Does your dad watch WildEarth? Why not send him a special message on Father's Day? Possibly he's living elsewhere and you can connect through WildEarth. Or maybe he'll be sitting next to you on the sofa. Either way, show him you care by logging into our website and submitting your message, which we hope to relay on Safari Live. WildEarth, it's in your nature. Thought you had daddy issues? Well, think again. Not all dads in the wild have the most commendable parenting skills. Here at WildEarth, we've seen many fathers who will go to the end of the earth for their young. And also, tragically, the ones who'd rather just eat them for breakfast. In honor of Father's Day on the 19th of June, we're excited to welcome James Henry back to WildEarth to host a special Explorers Fireside Chat in honor of all the wild dads at Djuma.
A flower here, and Hippo will join us just now with this little forensic found that I just saw here. There's something that's happened here. I'm out foraging, and obviously found remains that has been foraging on. Look at that. Feathers. Oh, something's obviously it's to be a dove. All right, while I investigate what has happened here, let's go over to Andrew, who's out on a bumble.
Yeah, good luck there, Chris. I hope you come right there, scratching around. I've just stopped here for a little bit of vegetation, a tree. As we're zooming in, have a good look at this tree. This tree is called a silver cluster leaf. Another name is purple pod terminalia or purple pod cluster leaf. And if you're interested, not everybody is. Latin name is Terminalia sericea. Quite a nice, easy one to remember though. But yeah, they call it a silver cluster leaf. If you have a look, there's a bit of silver showing through there. But actually, if you go to the leaf and you pull a leaf off, it's the underside of the leaf is going to be silver. The top side of the leaf is going to be a bit green, as you can see there. So silver cluster leaf. So a very interesting plant historically. I'm not quite sure which tribe it was. I'll have to just double check on that. But they believed if you cut this tree down before first rains of the season, then you're inviting hail towards the crops, which of course is not good for that. So they were quite religious, these people, in waiting for the first rains to come along and then cutting the trees down for uses of the tree. And there's actually quite a few uses. The tree, this one, is also used as a local anesthetic for the mouth. So by chewing on enough of the leaves, it's going to make your mouth quite numb. And then they could extract teeth and so on, with hopefully less pain and so on. Also used to glaze pots. back in the day. It's got a high amount of tannin, this plant, which is a chemical within the plant, which helps the plant just to survive in areas where there are browsers, leaf eaters. But now that chemical, the tannins, were extracted, they used it to glaze pots and then also to tan leather. And the way they used to do that would be they would come to this plant, take a whole bunch of leaves, and they would sort of slur it in a pot of water and get that tannin to come out. And then when they wanted to tan some leather, i.e. maybe they wanted to use some skins for clothes in the Bushman times, if you take a skin and you just wrap it around your body, it's going to start smelling and it's going to start deteriorating, and you've got to cure that leather. And the way they do it would be to remove as much of the fat, as much of the meat tissue as they could, and then getting a pot filled with the tannin from the leaves, and then just brushing it onto the skins. And this would cure it. This would prevent the skins from smelling and rotting away. And they could use the skins for whatever they want. They could make drums, the top part of drums. They could use it for clothing, and so on and so on. Not many animals are going to enjoy eating this tree. The tannins are extremely powerful. So think of it this way. If a browser comes along here and starts feeding on the tree, and the tree is starting to feel threatened, that it's being eaten too much, then what they will do is release tannins. But this tree has evolved in such a way that the tannin levels are extremely high, and animals, they just generally stay away from it. Yeah, there's a woodpecker calling in the background as well. Lovely.
Long misunderstood as dim-witted, gluttonous scavengers, the hyena over the years has had a serious PR crisis on its paws. Here at WildEarth, our beloved Djuma clan has allowed us a chance to set the record straight.
We're sitting here with the Djuma clan.
So now it's time to honor this critical animal and join our hyena hullabaloo. Trishala Naidu, a self-confessed hyena lover, will be leading the celebrations, culminating in a chance to name Ribbon's new cubs.
Magic. Alfred, good morning to you. I would say yes, trees do contain, all trees will contain some sort of levels of tannins or latex. Just some trees will have much higher levels of tannins and much more fast reacting. So if a browser comes along, which is a leaf eater, it doesn't take too long for certain trees to release that tannin. And with other tree species, it might take a bit more of browsing to cause the tree to start releasing tannins. So yes, all trees will have some sort of tannins and latex within the tree, 100%. It's a good question. It's a very, very good question. All right, we're going to keep mobile. We're going to keep going. I'll see what else we can find. All right, so I just want to cover a few more roads. So we're going to send you over to Trish while she's bumbling, and we'll come back to me a little bit later while I'm bumbling as well. Enjoy it.
I liked hearing about tannins. I'm just feeling a little defeated. I know what will cheer me up. A cruise through the Mulwati and some elephants, and then I'll reset a little bit, and then I'll stop having expectations of seeing Lalamba and her cubs. Can't imagine seeing 3 leopards together. The only time I've seen 3, a mum and two cubs together was Sabui and her cubs, Shasha and Langa. I've seen them all three together, but still have to get used to this fact that there's three of them. It's such an eyeful when you see three of them. I remember when I saw Kuchave and Semba, when Semba was just a wee little thing. Even then it was like, whoa, so many spots all together. It's the same when you see Tandi and Marib. So when we saw Tandi and Marib's. Halsey, you say maybe Panda can give you a panda hug. If the panda hug brings me a leopard, then yes. Panda, do your hugs bring leopards? No, I'm not actually sad. I'm just a little bit flat. I think also because it's my last day and I really hope that I'll be able to see her. So I'm trying extra hard, but when you try extra hard, then you change your expectations. Yeah, so my expectations have shifted when ultimately I should not have any expectations. So that's the problem. It's an internal one. Rocky Lou, was it Rocky Lou? Jared will help me. Yeah, let's do a small cruise this way. Oh, Lucky Lou. Lucky Lou. That's cool. You are saying, aren't I happy for the fireside chat, the naming happening today? Oh, it's tonight. Sorry.
She was around Tandem following up. Not that following up in that area, but you're about to make your way in.
Please hang on. Lucky Lou, I'm excited, and I'll show you my excitement in a moment. Matt? So I didn't catch much of those comms, but do you need help?
If I make my nothing earlier on there to help anyway console and try help out.
Yo, I still can't hear you very well. I'm in the Milwaukee at the moment. Maybe when I come out, I might be able to get your comms better. If I even understand you, you say that there's Nkonzo on Ingwe Alley.
Just speaking to earlier about the Ingwe Nkonzo, you and earlier this morning. You didn't copy the Ingwe just yet.
Yeah. Okay, I half copied that. Thanks, Matt.
Matt, just make your way into the area. It's just you and Chris following up.
Thank you.
Sorry, Matt. I could hardly hear what he was saying. But, Lucky Lou, I'm very excited about the hyena naming hullabaloo conclusion tonight. I'm very excited. Also, it'll be nice and warm. We'll have some nice names, some nice images of the hyenas, and yeah, I'm very excited. So I'm now gonna send you over to Chris. I think it was Chris, but and I'm gonna try and pop up here and get those radio comms again. Oh, sorry. It's Andrew. I'm scattered.
Oh, no. Trish, are you losing your comms there? Yeah, don't lose comms, eh? We must always be connected, eh? Yeah, we're still bumbling here. Yeah, just driving around, having a look. There's so many tracks on the road right now of different species of animals, but nothing too fresh to work with, so we're just going to carry on. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing this morning. I'm loving this. This is so cool, driving around this top section here. As you can see, the habitat changes. Not too much of the silver cluster leaves growing here. So yeah.
7 of our favorite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Heart's cub, adventurous and brave, and daughter to one of our most loved mothers. Is her name Moya, meaning wind or soul, for that adventurous side? Is it Shiluva, meaning flower, for her growth? Or is it Mbilo, meaning heart, as Heart's daughter with a heart on her side? Head over to our website to cast your vote. 7 of our favorite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Corky's cub, the boldest and proudest of the group. Is their name Koa, showing boldness, fearlessness, and bravery? Is it Kalula, as the energetic and speedy one? Or is it Zunani, the leader? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
So we are driving with the sun in our eyes at the moment. Yeah, Philip, it's a simple question you're asking me there, but I don't really know. I know that the sand river runs through here, so I'm presuming that's part of it. It's weird. I haven't actually read that up yet, but I can get back to you on that. I don't think I'm going to be here for tomorrow morning's drive, but when I stop, I will have a look on my phone and I'll get back to you on that question. Yeah, we'll see how right I am or how wrong I am on that one. But yeah, I was mentioning a little bit earlier that we had the sun in our face. It sounds like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to drive with the sun in your face? It's actually important to get the spoor or the tracks between yourself and the sun so that you can see shadows in the spoor. Otherwise it becomes very, very difficult to see the tracks, because the tracks of leopard lion are not deep. So you don't, if you're not looking carefully, you can easily drive past them. But when there are shadows, there are little hints as to where they are. Yeah, so that's why you drive with the track in between yourself and the sun. So we're just scouting, just seeing maybe we pick up on a fresh trail of something around here. This is the way we do it. You got to keep looking. If you don't find, keep going. Eventually you'll come right and pick up a nice fresh trail. Yeah. Wow, I think I need to take a layer off at some point now. I'm actually quite hot here. Oh, yellow-billed hornbill over here. All right, I'm going to send you back to Chris. He's still scratching around there. Yeah, let's see what he's doing now.
As I promised, we want to further investigate what happened to these feathers. Now, let's just take a look at the feathers itself. Now, at the moment, the only evidence we have is feathers. There's no carcass, there's nothing. Right, grey. Possibly a grey go-away bird or a dove, I think. Look at the wing feathers. Also, so if it was a dove, we would probably see some wing feathers with some white tips to it. So therefore, I'm not entirely sure whether this would be a dove or a grey lory or go-away bird or whatever. I'm still going with a dove here. However, if if you look at the evidence here, this is typical of a cat. So this is either a caracal or perhaps an African wildcat that caught this bird. And with something like a dove, especially a caracal or an African wildcat, they'll consume everything other than the feathers. You might sometimes find a little head or something, which I don't see here. So I don't know. I reckon, I still think this is a dove. Lots of feathers. You can see it's been plucked, which is typical of cats. You know, they pluck it before they consume the bird. It's amazing. We set out here to look at an edible plant and we find this evidence, which is incredible. Nothing else though, just feathers. Hi Bunny Boo, it says love the walking stick. Where did I get it? The stick came all the way from the Kalahari with me. Now the shaft is from a silver raisin that I cut in the Kalahari. The horn is from a female hartebeest, and there's a story behind this, and actually I have done this before, but for those like Bunny Blue who wanted to know about it. Now, in my first couple of weeks in the Kalahari, I saw a pack of wild dogs take down a female hartebeest cow. It was an incredible sighting, quite graphic, and afterwards I went back, you know, like I always do. I love to go back, check the tracks, because you know I love tracking, and I wanted to reconstruct the whole sequence of events, but I found the head of that female hartebeest and retrieved the horn with permission, but used the horn then as a handle. So this is a tracking stick. It's very light, so it's pointing there, you know, moving things around, grass and so forth. Also, it's sturdy enough to act as a walking stick, and you can see I planned the length of it perfectly. So this is not like a walking stick as such, it's more a tracking stick. But yeah, it's got a story to it. It's brought me a lot of luck. It's got a lot of uses to it as well, and I seem to find uses for this thing every day. Anyway, back to our evidence.
7 of our favourite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Juma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Ntima's first cub, and they're turning out to be quite the handful. Is their name Loki, after the Norse god of mischief and trickery? Is it Hlongavi, the one who can't be tamed? Or is it Shihleko, full of giggles? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
The Safari Guide of the Year 2022 is approaching us rapidly. This year, we'll be heading to Bushwise Field Guides at the Southern African Wildlife College from the 27th June till the 2nd of July. We will soon meet all our contestants who are vying for the prize of being the very best of the best, and the judges who will put them through their paces. Join me, Steve Falconbridge, as we dream it, guide it, win it.
Alright, I don't think there's anything much more to figure out here other than the feathers. We've established that it's possibly a dove, possibly a cat that killed it. I think it's time to maybe head out further into the plain and see what else we can find around Impala Plains. And while I do that, let's head over to Trish, who's out on a bumble.
Pipeline tracks towards Ingwe area. I'm now here by quarantine.
We are all looking for tracks for this leopard, but it seems to be more Wati. Male leopard tracks. So, and the movements. The fact that we can hardly, find tracks, let alone, ooh, look at how lovely this is. Do you have a view there, Panda? Let's just have a quick look. What a nice little burrow. I reckon that would be great for a porcupine. Anyway, let me send you over to Andrew. He's found some elephants.
Nice one, Trishala. Yeah, look who we bumped into over here. What a nice surprise, folks. So it just goes to show we can drive all day long looking for tracks and signs of the animal in order to, follow them. And at some point, you're going to be looking all day long and you're just going to bump into the animals without actually seeing any of the spoor or the tracks. And that's exactly what's happened now. So you've got a breeding herd of elephant here. We can see about 5 or 6 individuals so far. If you have a look down the road, there's one more in the middle of the road. Of course, folks, it looks like quite a nice view over there. I could always take a drive down there and show it to you, but we would be doing something that you don't want to do, and that is separating the animals from one another. So definitely we have a family group here. The last thing you want to do is get in between them, because you can cause some serious reactions. And as a guide or as a naturalist, we want to maintain ethics out here. These animals are precious. They're precious, precious, precious. We must always maintain a healthy respect and, for them. And they do the same for us. So it's a two-way thing. So we're going to stay exactly where we are here. We're not going to move anymore. Lovely. Quite stationary here. There's one flapping his ears over there. Okay, so
if you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose. Does your dad watch WildEarth? Why not send him a special message on Father's Day? Possibly he's living elsewhere and you can connect through WildEarth. Or maybe he'll be sitting next to you on the sofa. Either way, show him you care by logging into our website and submitting your message, which we hope to relay on Safari Live. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
That's a good question, Lisa. Female elephants are usually in a group 90%, 95% of the time, most of the time, if I can say. So if you're seeing a group of females, there's probably going to be some young nearby. So we've got view of this one over here. But as we will pan out and you'll have a look at a few other individuals, you're going to see there's some sub-adults here and some youngsters here. Okay, so they're going to be attached to mothers, of course. So, we'll be in a breeding herd. There could very well be a bull within this group. They might spend a bit of time with the breeding group trying to decipher if there's a female or females that are in estrus that he can mate with. But if none of the females are in estrus or in condition to breed, i.e. they have calves already with them, then that bull elephant is not going to show too much interest in them. He will leave them, to spend a bit of time by himself and then carry on looking for another group. Okay, and so on and so on. And this is constantly going on, trying to promote his genetics as many times as he can, and will actively look for different family groups. That's actually quite a nice question. The biggest breeding group of elephant I've ever seen in the Kruger Park was when I was quite young. I must have been about 13 or 14. To me, I know it's a long time ago, but to me it seemed like there must have been about 100 animals there. And they were actually bathing in one of the rivers, and you could just see trunks sticking out, so they were snorkeling. So we don't actually know how many were there, but it seemed like easily 100 animals. They're very important in the ecosystem. Folks, a lot of times people think elephants are destructive animals. They're breaking the trees, they're killing the trees. Okay, yeah, they are destructive and they do kill trees, but that is their niche. Okay, so out here in Africa, we have a combination of grasses, trees, bushes, shrubs, dwarf shrubs, and so on. So if there were no elephants out here in the ecosystem, what would happen is the trees would grow up, the canopies would become too thick, no sunlight is going to hit the ground, and then the grasses are going to die off, which is not ideal because there are animals out here that eat grass, wildebeest and warthogs, and there's so many different species, zebras, hartebeest, blessbuck, so on and so on and so on. So they do need grasses. So elephants are maintaining the savanna, and they're preventing the trees from becoming too much in the ecosystem. Of course, if there are too many elephants, then it can be a problem, but within the bounds or within the correct numbers and so on, then it's actually very good for the ecosystem. Also, elephants are important in the sense that they are going to walk through the bush. Now, there are some thick areas in the bush where animals are not going to easily penetrate those thick areas. So elephants are going to walk through, they're going to make game trails, they're going to open up the bush a little bit, and this allows us smaller animals and creatures to walk through as well. So yeah, it's most definitely important. They create funnels through the bush and other animals so they can now penetrate those thickets like kudu and duiker and so on and so on. Yeah. They are going to spend quite a bit of time feeding, folks. Yeah, these animals can feed up to between 16 and 18 hours a day. And they don't digest a lot of what they're eating, so they need to feed in bulk. So they're going to, 24-hour period with a huge adult male elephant, he's going to need to get through between 250 and 300 kilograms of vegetation per day. So the activities that are there, they need to be active. They need to move around, constantly feeding, constantly looking for, those nutritious things to eat in order to maintain their mass. Yeah. Wonderful sighting this.
Thought you had daddy issues? Well, think again. Not all dads in the wild have the most commendable parenting skills. Here at WildEarth, we've seen many fathers who will go to the end of the earth for their young. And also, tragically, the ones who'd rather just eat them for breakfast. In honor of Father's Day on the 19th of June, we're excited to welcome James Henry back to WildEarth to host a special Explorers Fireside Chat in honor of all the wild dads at Djuma.
7 of our favorite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Ntima's second born, and dare we say golden child, full of fun? Is their name Kira, the beam of light? Is it Kemba, meaning faithful in Norse? Or is it Mikateko, the blessed one? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
Morning, Wakisha. My favorite animal, that's easy. Okay, well, first I'm going to say, I've got a close connection with every single species of animals. I love them all, but yes, some do stand out more than others. Yeah, so I don't know if you are familiar with meerkats. They do occur in areas of southern Africa. Yeah, meerkats have always been special to me. I've spent quite a bit of time watching meerkats. They do seem like they all got unique personalities. They're all individualized, and it reminds me very much of people, actually. That you have some that are, incredibly curious. You have others that are quite shy. You have others that are out there. Yeah, so if you ever get a chance to watch a gang of meerkats, stick around, watch them carefully with binoculars. Have a look at what they're doing. They're very, very active animals. And they are experts at hunting scorpions and digging scorpions out the ground. Yeah, they get stung by a scorpion, no problem. If it's a very venomous scorpion, they might go back into the den and just hang out there for a few days and get better. And because they have such a high metabolism, their bodies are able to break down the venom because venoms are protein-based. So with a high metabolism, meerkats are going to, pass through those venoms quite quickly and absorb it as a protein. and they're able to survive, being bitten by snakes and scorpions and so on. It's a tiny little animal, not much bigger than a ground squirrel. A tree squirrel. And to think that they're able to survive being bitten by snakes and scorpions and all those things. Oh, look there, in the road. Look there. Okay, so I mentioned this morning animals are going to like to use the roads. You can see this elephant chose to walk on the road, came out of the bush straight onto the road. If these elephants decided to themselves, no, let's leave this area, let's go to a new area, and they sort of want to cover ground quite quickly, they're going to get onto the game trails, which is it's almost like a road network. It takes them to specific areas, and they know where those game trails go. They've got this place mapped out quite wonderfully, and they know this game trail will go down there to water or, preferred areas of feeding and so on. And then, we build roads out here because we need to drive around out here, and elephants will adopt those as natural, as game paths as well. Have a look carefully there, look there. So the elephant is using its trunk almost like an arm with a hand at the end in order to put food in the mouth. All right, there's no bones, no cartilage within the trunk. The trunk is made up of thousands and thousands of muscles, and it is very heavy actually. So with an adult bull elephant, the trunk can weigh up to 70 kilograms. And if you think about it, when that bull elephant with a trunk that weighs roughly about 70 kilograms, when he was born, the day he was born, he would have weighed about 110 kilograms. So when he becomes an adult, his trunk is almost the same weight as the day as he was born. Interesting that. It's quite heavy. So often when you see elephants, and they're feeling a little bit tired, carrying this trunk around, what they'll do is they'll drag it on the ground sometimes, and you get the zigzag tracks on the ground, which if you don't know elephants walking with their trunks on the ground, you might think it's a snake or an African rock python or something like that, but it's the zigzagging of the elephant dragging his trunk on the ground. And then also with elephants that have got quite nice sturdy tusks, they might actually wrap their trunk around their tusks just to lighten that load. Yeah, if you understand that. So it's a good question, very good question. And then before I forget, why is the Sabi Sands? What is the meaning of the Sabi Sands? Why is it called that? It's the two rivers that come through here. It's the Sabi River and the Sands River, and that's how we get the name the Sabi Sands Game Reserve. So there is your answer there.
Long misunderstood as dim-witted, gluttonous scavengers, the hyena over the years has had a serious PR crisis on its paws. Here at WildEarth, our beloved Juma clan has allowed us a chance to set the record straight.
We're sitting here with the Juma clan.
So now it's time to honor this critical animal and join our hyena hullabaloo. Trishana Naidu, a self-confessed hyena lover, will be leading the celebrations, culminating in a chance to name Ribbon's new cubs.
All right, so I just want to try and get through this area so I can leave these elephants so they can continue doing their things. So Chris is doing some tracking over there. Yeah, I'd like to get you involved in that. So let's go back over to Chris so that you can see what he's up to there.
Just as I was about to leave this area to a different area, we found possibly more evidence of what may have happened here. Right, first thing, more feathers of the same species, and then definite jackal tracks here. And I have seen jackal hunt birds. I've seen that. So perhaps it might even have been a jackal, although that plucking of the feathers still, in my mind, says it's a cat. But anyway, let's see why I say this is a jackal. Little track and sign ID lesson. All right, all dogs have a particular sequence to their tracks. So they've got a pad, like all cats, dogs, mongoose, and their toes. But the way they are spaced, that's the key in it. So you got your pad, you got your side toes and your front toes, and they can be divided into thirds, and you can clearly see it here. I always use my finger. In this case, it's a relatively young jackal. You can see the pad there, the two side toes and the two front toes, and you can even see the claws imprinting there. Often that's not even claw, often it's hair. As those of you who have toy poms at home know those hair that comes out of the toes in between. You often see that as well with jackal. Lots of hair coming out in between the toes. Not a very big jackal. If you look at the size, I mean, compared to my hand, you know, it's about 2 centimeters, which suggests this is a young jackal. However, I cannot 100% say that the jackal did take that bird. But when you construct these events, this is the evidence you have. So it's very likely that a jackal has taken that bird. I had a question there from Thomas, and I'm just going to have to ask our directors to just repeat that. It just broke up a touch there. I would really love to answer Thomas's question. And Thomas's question is, what can a track tell you about an animal? Thomas, as we established here, you know, remember, tracks alone are not track and sign. Track and signs are exactly what we've done here. It's footprints, feathers, feces, bush has been pushed down, branches broken. So track and sign tells you everything about animals. It's the newspaper of the bush. It will tell you that an elephant has been here a couple of days ago. Even a stick like this can tell you this is definitely an elephant that's broken a branch, and he's chewed off all the bark and he's dropped it. And the way I know it is how this has been squashed as well when they ate it. So the elephants don't eat the wood, they eat the bark. There's no more bark, very typically of elephants. So that's just one example. Even as I stood here, there was track and sign of something that moved or did something. So it tells you what animal's been there, what it's been doing, possibly what it's been eating, how long ago it was there. So tracks, and you can understand why I'm so passionate about track and sign and tracks in general, or, you know, because like I said, it's the newspaper of the bush. Every morning, when you look at the tracks, you can construct a story about what's happened during the night. The same thing in the afternoon. You can use certain species to tell you what's been happening. Like this jackal who walked there, possibly killed that bird. It's not always conclusive. For instance, just a very simple example, you've got this dove track here, very typical of a dove. I'm not going to go into the structure of it, but why a dove is important. We know they're active very early mornings, so if you have a lion print and you've got the dove track on top of it, you know the lion was early in the morning when it was still dark, and the dove walked on top of it. Anyway, let's go over to Andrew and see what he's up to.
right, so we've got some traffic over here. This is bumper to bumper traffic happening over here. Yeah, I wanted to get through here and just carry on. But yeah, no, the animals are in the road here. They're on both sides of the road. We've got some young calves crossing the road. And we're going to just let's see what they're going to do. If they give us a gap to get through, then we'll go through. Otherwise, let's view. There's a Birchall starling in the road. Don't know if you can see it there. There's a good few species of birds busy following these elephants right now. I saw a fork-tailed drongo. I saw Cape glossy starling. The reason why they are being followed by different species of birds is because these elephants, when walking through the bush, they are going to disturb a multitude of different insects which will jump out the way. They want to try and avoid being squashed by the elephants. So they'll jump out the way, and these birds are able to see their food.
7 of our favourite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Ribbon's second born, with nicked ears and a softer heart full of adventure. Is their name Rangani, the adventurer? Is it Twela, the sensitive and empathetic one? Or is it Spirit, for that spirited soul we love so much? Head over to our website to cast your vote. 7 of our favourite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Ribbon's firstborn, distinct from their sibling by their full round ears and more curious nature. Is their name Matimba, meaning strength? Is it Shongela, the defender of the weak? Or is it Wiley, the crafty and cheeky one? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
Jacques, morning. Thank you for your question there. Have I ever seen an elephant without a trunk? Myself personally, live with, like seeing it without the TV and things like that. No, I haven't. I haven't seen an elephant without a trunk. But I do know in some game reserves it does happen. It's the sad truth that there is always poaching. Not always, but there is poaching, a level of poaching happening in, 1 or 2 of the game reserves within Africa. And so subsistence poachers, they might put some snares out if elephants are walking through the area, because the snares are placed on game trails just to try and maximize that something is going to walk through there. Elephants, as I've just mentioned earlier on, they are active in using these game trails, and sometimes the elephant might walk through there, might get his leg wrapped up in a snare or the trunk, and that's a problem. That's a big problem. Then that trunk might actually fall off with time. But elephants are extremely well adapted in surviving, so they are able to survive without the trunk, just it makes life a lot harder. Because remember, we mentioned earlier that the trunk is like an arm with a hand at the end, helping them to put food and water in the mouth. Without the trunk, they're going to have to find a whole new way of feeding. They'll obviously be supported by the breeding herd, or if it's a bull elephant that's by himself, he's gonna battle a bit. But yeah, he'll put his mouth right on top of the vegetation and rip it off. And when it comes to drinking water, we'll have to put his head right in the water to try and drink. Yeah, and then also predators. I know elephants are quite large animals. A lot of people think that they are free of predators, which is not quite the case. There are big prides of lions in Africa, in the Kruger Park as well, that are going to specialize in big prey items, so elephants and buffalo, giraffe and things like that. And often if they manage to pull down an elephant and hold it down, some of the individuals of the pride of lions will try and cut off the trunk immediately and then run away just with the trunk in itself, because like I've mentioned, it's made up of many muscles, and it weighs up to 70 kilograms. So they'll run off into the bush and hide under the bush and just eat that alone. And as I've mentioned, maybe if the elephant managed to run away and escape those lions, he's going to need to find she's going to have to find a whole new way of feeding and putting food in the mouth and water in the mouth. So they can still survive. Yeah. All right, so we're going to carry on through. We've got to gap through the traffic. Yeah, bumper to bumper out here.
The Safari Guide of the Year 2022 is approaching us rapidly. This year, we'll be heading to bushwise field guides at the Southern African Wildlife College from the 27th June till the 2nd of July. We will soon meet all our contestants who are vying for the prize of being the very best of the best, and the judges who will put them through their paces. Join me, Steve Falconbridge, as we dream it, guide it, win it.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
African Samurai, that is such a cool name. Very cool name, I like it. Yeah, African Samurai, the roads are, it's going to be a navigation for animals, and then it's going to be a path of least resistance. So think about it, if you want to save energy, you're going to use paths of least resistance. So game trails and roads are very important for them, and they'll walk on the road for sometimes, kilometers and kilometers, saving energy, trying to get to a new area. Maybe they want to cover an area with as little time as possible. Maybe they're hungry or thirsty, or they want to get out of an area because there's too much competition, i.e. lions or something, or having a snooze under the bush. Then they'll get onto the game trails and just try and get out of there. Yeah. That's a nice question. All right, folks, a lot of people ask me, what is the lifespan of elephants? So how old can they get? And it's actually a very interesting one to answer that. So elephants, they live to, a 50-year-old elephant, a 55-year-old elephant is quite a nice age. They're not going to live much past that age. But, the organs, when the animal dies from old age, we often notice that the organs and the lungs and the heart and things, they're still good to go for another 10, 15 more years. But the problem is the same. Elephants have got 5 sets of permanent teeth in the mouth. Human beings, we get 2 sets of teeth. So you've got to try and challenge yourself. Why? Why do we have to have 2 sets of teeth? Why do elephants need to have 5 sets of teeth? Now, bear in mind, and we're going to use us as an example, human beings, when you are young, when you're born and your teeth are growing, they're going to be adequate for a certain amount of time. But as you grow, those teeth are not big enough anymore and not adequate enough anymore. So as humans, our milk teeth will fall out, and then your next set of teeth, the more permanent teeth, come out, so that you can accommodate your body size, and you need to obviously eat in relation. Elephants are the same thing. So per stage of growth, their teeth are going to get loose in the sockets and fall out, literally fall out. They don't just fall out the mouth. I think they might spit them out from time to time, but a lot of them actually swallow those teeth. They just go straight through the body and out in their dung. And I've looked for teeth in the dung quite a few times, and I've never found. I would love to find one of the teeth in the dung. But yeah, so 5 sets of permanent teeth. As the animal grows, that smaller teeth that are now useless in a sense, they're going to fall out, and then another one is going to grow, and another one is going to grow after that, and so on. And only get 5 sets of permanent teeth. After that 5th set, the animal is running out of teeth, and this leads them to their downfall, their demise, where they'll pass away. The sad truth is, old elephants, they do have a tough time in old age because their teeth are running low. They're on their last set and they're busy wearing down. And some elephants, they are going to die from malnutrition, starvation, and lack of condition. Yeah, it's quite a sad ending for an elephant. Yeah. And you can just see a bit of an outline from the sun on the back there, a bit of a halo effect.
Does your dad watch WildEarth? Why not send him a special message on Father's Day? Possibly he's living elsewhere and you can connect through WildEarth. Or maybe he'll be sitting next to you on the sofa. Either way, show him you care by logging into our website and submitting your message, which we hope to relay on Safari Live. WildEarth, it's in your nature. Thought you had daddy issues? Well, think again. Not all dads in the wild have the most commendable parenting skills. Here at WildEarth, we've seen many fathers who will go to the end of the earth for their young. And also, tragically, the ones who'd rather just eat them for breakfast. In honor of Father's Day on the 19th of June, we're excited to welcome James Henry back to WildEarth to host a special Explorers Fireside Chat in honor of all the wild dads at Djuma.
Okay, look at all those flies around there. Come on, grab one. Grab a fly. Yeah, so I was mentioning they do mimic other birds. They've learnt the call of pell chanting goshawks in certain areas. And when the meerkats have caught a scorpion and dug it out, they will move the sting and kill the scorpion. Then this fork-tailed drongo mimics their biggest enemy, the pell chanting goshawk. And then the meerkats run away, try to get back to the den, and then the fork-tailed drongo gets a free meal. So that's very, very smart, folks. Very, very smart. Okay, and again, elephants, they do like to have the company of fork-tailed drongos and other birds because it's going to be a pre-warning system in a sense. All right, so I want to try and weave my way through here. So we'll send you over to Trish in the meantime. Enjoy. Okay, let's go.
Good team. Andrew is so lucky to have seen those illies. I have made an executive decision. I think we're going to spend the last hour at the den. It is the conclusion. Today's the last day of the hyena hullabaloo. So let's spend some time there. Plus, at the moment, I'm just driving around. You know, there's not much game about. Everything's up at quarantine. So I think you'd much prefer to see the hyenas than me driving around. So off to the den. Also, I really want to spend some time with those little things before I go. Also, I feel myself losing it a little bit after going round and round and round and round and round with leopard tracks. So the den is always a nice place to, like I said, just reset, reevaluate my expectations, and then, you know, come back stronger. The worst thing in the den, in the bush, is when you have too many expectations about what you want to see. And on the last day, you tend to have this because you want to see this, you want to see that, because you're going to go, you know. And actually, you tend to see less. Hi, Brian. You'd like to know if we can expect the brown landscape this winter? We will still get it. So for there to be a green landscape through winter, it would we would have to have consistent rain. So even though the water table is high, trees may keep some of their leaves, and leaves may still be green, but the grasses will dry out and die. And that's because of the cycle of a grass's life as well. It's necessary for them to go through these cycles. So we will still see the brown landscape. It'll just be, it just might come a little bit later. I really love how when we go to the den, we have these, our usual kind of pit stops along the way. Pit stop number one. Remember our rough-plated lizard lived in this hole too. Maybe he'll pop his head out. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh. I remember Lauren had a sighting like that once. Oh, dwarf mongoose. They just keep moving in and out of that hole. It's lovely. You can tell obviously that this is the side that's getting the most sun.
Crossing out of Djuma back onto the east. Thank you.
That's where everyone is gathering. Oh, great. So Andrew was telling you a little bit earlier about how excellent dwarf mongoose are, and in fact mongoose in general, how excellent they are at hunting venomous animals. And it doesn't seem to have a great effect on them. The fact that they, often get bitten by these animals, these venomous creatures, it doesn't seem to affect them too much. Now, the fact that they're eating it, that's understandable because we've spoken about this before. Venom is just proteins, and your body is used to digesting proteins. So venom can get digested in your stomach. Doesn't mean that it will not affect you, because there's also oral toxicity of venom that has to be considered. It's just that oral toxicity is of a venom is generally much lower than the injected toxicity. But still, that's how mongoose are fine with eating snakes and scorpions. Same with the snake eagle. They can digest the venom quite well. But when they get bitten, oh, look at this one at the end, stretching itself out. Yeah, get that sun. So when they get bitten and venom is injected into their bloodstream, which is the way that it causes the most harm, they're actually pretty good at processing it. They're not totally unaffected. So you might find that animals that have to deal with venom regularly, even things like honey badgers, they might go into a state of inactivity for maybe a couple hours, maybe a day. And that's while their body is processing this venom. And that's because venom works on your cells in a way where certain proteins in the venom and certain proteins in your cell, or certain shapes, shall we say, on your cell, they have to click into place. So if I could show you this just very quickly, I just realized that I could do this with my hands, which might help you visually. So if this is the venom, right, coming in, there's your cell. The shapes of the venom have to fit perfectly with the shapes on your cell in order for them to interact with each other. But with animals like a mongoose, like a honey badger, like a snake eagle that can take venom well, the shape on their cell is maybe missing one bit. So the venom connects, but not perfectly. See, this one is now out anymore. And so the venom can't work perfectly. And like many things in nature, lots of things work with shapes connecting, or lock and key kind of figure. And if one part does not work or does not fit perfectly, then the whole mechanism is basically spoiled. And partially works because obviously each one of these connections means something, but not fully, and so it can't have that impact. And so animals like this, their binding sites for those venoms are not perfect, so they can withstand having that venom in their body and be able to deal with it. Just takes a bit of time. I love how it's just this combination of chemistry, biology, physics. That is nature. It's just beautiful. So much work goes into the tiniest of things that are going on in your body and the bodies of these animals to ensure that they can survive in the niche in which they have adapted, Very cute as well.
7 of our favorite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Swazi's cub, our surprise wanderer. Is their name Saga, meaning story in Icelandic? Is it Matimu, for history made? Or is it Masingita, the surprise? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
WildEarth's Hyena Hullabaloo has arrived. And just to add to the hyena hysteria, we have launched some great new merchandise. Find the latest clothing items on the WildEarth shop and proclaim yourself part of the clan with designs like, I'm a fan of the Djuma clan, I named a baby hyena, and more.
This is pretty much my morning routine. A bit of sun, a shower, and then I go out to find food. Hi, Marius. You'd like to know if I know what a dwarf mongoose is called in Afrikaans? I don't. I actually didn't go to high school in South Africa, so I didn't learn Afrikaans. But Gert helps me along. It's just that the words that Gert and Marcel teach me are not usually the ones associated with animals. Ooh, Jared, please repeat that. I got mace haunt. Dwark mace haunt? A wark mace haunt? In fact, that's what I got from FC, but Jared said that his Afrikaans is terrible too. I think we're going to have Gert tell us. Dwarg. That's what Jared told me to do. Dwarg mace haunt. The thing is that I actually can't roll my R's. So I can't go rrr. It just goes rrr, as you heard. Okay, let's move on. Back towards the den. Oh, well, not back, but towards the den. And we'll send you over to Andrew.
All right, Trishala, yeah, enjoy that hyena den. We had a good visual there this morning, so I'm pretty sure you're going to come right and have a good time out there. All right, so we're on the dam wall here, and you've got a few friends in the water, hippopotamus. Yeah, hippopotamus. This animal is almost exclusive grazer, a grass eater. And think about it, this animal is massive, yet it relies on grass. But there are some situations that if there's, some skin or there's a dry carcass on a dam wall or something, if the animal's got low mineral content in the body, they might just try and lick a little bit or take in a few mouthfuls. But they don't go off into the bush trying to kill animals and things to eat. That's not the case. But they might take a few mouthfuls of something if it's nearby. Bush pig and warthogs will do exactly the same thing. Warthogs are omnivorous. Bush pigs are very omnivorous, but warthogs, for the same reason as the hippo, they might enjoy a little bit of nutrients from some meat every now and then, just a few mouthfuls. Now, it's quite interesting, folks, that hippos are very sensitive in the sun. So they do blister very, very easily. That's sort of the worst situation is when a hippo is on land, he's battling to get back to the water and he's blistering, he's getting badly sunburned, and yeah, the animal will be extremely aggressive trying to get back to the water, simply because he's being burnt. We would be the same, exactly the same. If you're out in the bush and you're getting burnt and you're trying to get to the water, you're going to be, quite aggressive in trying to get to the water. And if anything tries to stop you, you're going to just try and push it out the way.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited Safari Guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
Okay, another interesting thing about hippos is that, of course, yes, they do live in deep water, etc., but they don't swim. So their bones are very, very dense, very heavy bones within their body, and as soon as they enter the water, they're literally going to sink straight down to the floor of the dam or the river or the lake, and they're going to walk on the bottom and run on the bottom. They do like to make game trails, obviously on the land, but then also in the water. So I don't know if you guys watch that show on TV, Drain the Oceans, very interesting program. So if we had to drain this dam, you're going to see quite a network of game trails, and that would be from the hippopotamus. Yeah, hippos are quite important for the fish. Very, very important for the fish. So hippos, especially the bulls, they're going to defecate, shaking their tails and so on and so on. They do this in the water, and then females might also defecate in the water. And when that dung is floating around in the water or is within the water, the small fish and tilapia, they're going to feed on that, and that's how they thrive. It's a food source for fish. So nature doesn't do things for no reasons, and other animals are going to benefit somehow, which I've always enjoyed, trying to figure out these relationships. So their closest relative is going to be whales. Sorry, if I get that question correctly, Natasha, you asked me now if there are any plants that are natural sunblocks. I'm pretty sure there are. I don't know about here in the Sabi Sands or in the low veldt. I'll have to find out. But I know up in the Eastern Cape there is a camphor bush, coastal camphor bush, which you can actually apparently crush it as a sort of like a body moisturizer, but then also can help with the sun. Yeah, but I don't know about out here, but there must be something. There must be something for that. Got to look after your skin. I mean, you only have it for a short time, and you're going to make sure that it's always well looked after. So I just want to tell you a little bit of a folklore. It's a modern day folklore, or not too modern, but it's always nice for the children. And I've noticed the tourists that I've taken out on safaris, and I tell them the story as well. They love it. They absolutely love it. So the folklore goes like this. The reason why a hippopotamus shakes its tail, especially with the bulls, going to shake his tail, sending that dung to fly up on top of the bushes, in the water, on the dam wall, quite a big mess. So it goes like this. When the animals were created and they're all put into their habitats, the hippopotamus and the crocodile were assigned together. They must live together. But now the crocodile was upset. He said, "No, man, how can you make me live with a hippopotamus? Look how ginormous this animal is. He's going to eat all the fish. No, please, give me someone else." And the hippo was a little bit sad by this, and he didn't want to leave. So he made a deal with the crocodile. He said, "Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to eat your fish. But what I will do is when I defecate, I'm going to shake my tail a little bit. So I'm going to open up my dung, and you can inspect my dung for fish bones and so on. And if you find fish bones and I'm eating your fish, then we can talk. But I promise you, I won't do that." So there's a little bit of a folklore. There's some beautiful folklores out there. And there's actually some nice books that you can buy relating to a lot of folklores, African folklores. And folklores are very important within the Bushmen and African tribes. It was a way of, just having fun, getting everybody together around a fire and telling stories. And this is a way that they used to have fun, almost like a cinema in a way, by telling the stories of the other animals and so on and so on. Lots of folklores out there.
We protect and reconnect nature across southern Africa. We bring countries together to care for wild spaces that stretch beyond borders. We protect and restore biodiversity. We prioritize the people living in these landscapes, enabling them to thrive in harmony with nature. We are restoring tomorrow.
All right, just going to start up and we're going to carry on just a little bit more. All right, Trish, I hope you're enjoying the hyena den over there. So we're going to go back to her and we'll come back to me a little bit later. Enjoy it.
We at the den. We have, I think it's Swazi here, sleeping at the front of the den, and otherwise it's pretty quiet. She looks quite clean and well fed, not overly well fed, popping about to pop. Uncomfortable. She looks like she's had a fair meal, and now she's just chilling, have a good old nap. It's making me sleepy. It's making me feel for the breakfast burger that I foresee. Just it being Saturday and all, it might be a breakfast burger. And perhaps that's what I will look at like this afternoon. Or maybe not. You do not have to vote on my napping this afternoon, please. But yeah, things are pretty quiet here. But I'm always glad to spend a little bit of time, even just to come and check them out. I do love them quite a lot. But after this segment of this little visit, we might just do a little bit of exploring around here. Maybe the cubs are actually moving about, because it's quite a nice day. It's nice and warm. It feels quite calm in this block, so the cubs might be going on a walkabout. They tend to do that. See lots of little tracks all over the place near this block. So maybe we'll see if they're around there. Feels very chilled out now. The sun has come to warm everything up. And as soon as that chill has gone out of the air, it feels like the intensity of the bush, which sort of associated with the movement of predators and you know, that anything could pop out at any time, that sort of eases as soon as that chill is gone. So I'm feeling a lot more relaxed, much like our girl here.
The Safari Guide of the Year 2022 is approaching us rapidly. This year, we'll be heading to bushwise field guides at the Southern African Wildlife College from the 27th June till the 2nd of July. We will soon meet all our contestants who are vying for the prize of being the very best of the best, and the judges who will put them through their paces. Join me, Steve Falconbridge, as we dream it, guide it, win it.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
Ah, Ruth. That's an interesting question. You'd like to know if I have a favorite hyena cub name. I mean, we can go through each one and then I'll tell you which is my favorite of them. So for Heart's cub, the names were Moya, Shiluva, and Mbilu. I like Moya. It's short, it's punchy, but I also really like Shiluva because it means flower. But I think Moya is the top one there. For Ribbon's cub with the intact ears, the options were Matimba, Shongela, and Wiley. I liked Wiley there. Just because I like short names, and then also it means crafty or cheeky. And then Ribbon's nicked ear cubs was Rangani and Twela and Spirit. I think Twela, I liked Twela. But like it's difficult for me because I like to see the cubs, like, you know, get to know them a little bit, and we're getting there, but not, I haven't quite gotten there where I feel I know a name and I like it. Anyway, let me send you over to somebody at the dam, and then we can look through the rest of the names in the next segment.
One thing I can tell you is that I do miss those hyenas. I haven't seen them since February. I really would like to get down there and visit them again. Anyway, we're back at Leopard Dam now, just doing a bit of a little stroll around, and there's quite a bit of bird life happening at the moment. So while we're watching the heron sunning himself, much like we did at Impala Plains, like a lizard. Yeah, there's a grey heron, there's some blacksmith lapwings around, I've seen the sandpiper or two, there's 3 banded plovers, I've even seen the jacana, the resident jacana, but he's flew off now. Just look at this heron, he's just enjoying the little bit of heat coming through now. And I've even taken off my jacket as well. Still a bit of a bite in the air. So that would be the grey heron. Very, very common species throughout southern Africa. Our most common large heron along watercourses. Talking about heron, we also have seen a striated heron, also known as a green-backed heron, a bit earlier.
Does your dad watch WildEarth? Why not send him a special message on Father's Day? Possibly he's living elsewhere and you can connect through WildEarth. Or maybe he'll be sitting next to you on the sofa. Either way, show him you care by logging into our website and submitting your message, which we hope to relay on Safari Live. WildEarth, it's in your nature. Thought you had daddy issues? Well, think again. Not all dads in the wild have the most commendable parenting skills. Here at WildEarth, we've seen many fathers who will go to the end of the earth for their young. And also, tragically, the ones who'd rather just eat them for breakfast. In honor of Father's Day on the 19th of June, we're excited to welcome James Henry back to WildEarth to host a special Explorers Fireside Chat in honor of all the wild dads at Juma.
No, he's still very comfortable, so we'll edge a little closer. We can only go as far as the water anyway. And the reason I want to do that is just to get you a better glimpse of this lovely bird. Very common, like I said, but one of my favorites. I think they are quite handsome birds. Blauw reier in my language, Afrikaans. And the blauw reier translates into blue heron, if you want to. Anyway, we're going to wait it out and see what this guy is up to. And like I said, I do miss those hyenas, but you're in a very fortunate position because you are going to go back to the hyena den right now.
Well, at least Andrew can help you out with the Afrikaans names, guys. And we have some cubbies out. That's Swazi's cub. Next to Swazi there. And Corky's cub. I love how you can wait here for a little bit longer and then, they slowly start to emerge. Oh, so much cuteness. I have a feeling that Corky's cub is waiting to, yeah, I knew it, waiting for a friend to come out. Kept looking in that direction. Ronald, you say it's nap time for the babies? I think the babies have just woken up from a nap. This is Intima's cub. I think it's Intima's cub. It's getting a little fluffier. Or perhaps it's Ribbons. One of Ribbons' boys. I'm still getting used to him, but I'm normally the fluffy ones, very fluffy ones, I recognize as Ribbons. Anyway, I have some pictures, so I'll confirm with you in a moment. Stanley, you say you don't think you'll ever get over the cuteness? I am not sure either, Stanley, that I would ever get over the cuteness. When they just come out of the den, they're so quiet, and they do like a little checking out of what's happening around them before they start getting a little bit nutty and get super excited playing with each other and all of that. Someone else is coming out. Yeah, I think that is Ribbon's boy. This one's face is a little bit lighter than the other one's face. Baby Hyena, you said something about Swazi in the morning light. Ah, Swazi looks lovely in the morning light. Okay. So, now I'm thoroughly confused. Okay, I think we have two of Intima's cubs. Go stand next to each other so I can see your size difference. Yeah. Okay. Swazi's cub, Corky's cub, two of Intima's cubs. There we go. So it sort of feels like within this week, Intima's cubs have gotten fluffier. So it's now going to become a bit of a challenge as they become bigger and they get fluffier, and they're going to move into the stage that Ribbon's cubs are in, which is that fluffy stage. But you can see that one of Intima's cubs, the one that doesn't have the injury, it's just sat down, is fluffier than its litter mate.
Long misunderstood as dim-witted, gluttonous scavengers, the hyena over the years has had a serious PR crisis on its paws. Here at WildEarth, our beloved Djuma clan has allowed us a chance to set the record straight.
We're sitting here with the Djuma clan.
So now it's time to honor this critical animal and join our hyena hullabaloo. Trishana Naidu, a self-confessed hyena lover, will be leading the celebrations, culminating in a chance to name Ribbon's new cubs.
Corky's cubs found a little bit of grass. Yeah, give it a good old sniff. Maybe somebody's anal pasted on it. So it'll be picking up the scents of the clan members that have moved around the den and anal pasted around the den. You'll sometimes see them paste over a stalk that has already been pasted. That's just to acquire all of the unique bacteria, both of their clan, and just as the fact that they're a young animal and they need to get the general bacteria from their mums or from their clan members, but also a specific clan composition, bacterial composition, that is available to be sniffed within the actual paste. Oh, be careful, don't fall down. When they're born, their back legs are often quite weak. You can see it with Indibele's cub. Mooly Moo, you'd like to know if I think that Ribbon comes back to the den when we're not watching? I think she definitely does, because she's come to the den while we have been watching as well. I remember when she was at the den. It's only been once since I've been here that I've seen her at the den, but certainly have. And then she also nurses in this little gap that's behind us at the moment. She used to nurse there, and then I've also seen her cubs at the den that's next to this one. So I think she's definitely around. Here comes Indibele. Nice. Cool. So we have Swazi, Indibele, Swazi's cub, Corky's cub, and Intima's two that are getting nice and fluffy. So much happening. It's amazing. Let me send you over to Andrew. In the meantime, I'm going to spend time with these guys, just sitting quietly.
Trish, I'm happy that you're happy over there. Yeah, if you're happy, we're happy, and everybody's happy. Yeah, so remain happy. So we're still looking around, driving around here. We haven't, it's getting quite warm now, so we haven't seen anything yet specific. So we're just going to keep it mobile and have a look. But yeah, I've told myself I'm not going to take my right hand off the steering wheel the entire time I'm talking to you. It seems like I've got quite a bad habit of touching the earpiece while I'm talking, which I want to try and beat. So if you see me take my hand off, just slap me on the wrist there. So I mentioned to you earlier that I needed to take some layers off, and I still haven't. But yeah, we've got a bit of time left on the drive. I think I'm just going to leave the layers on, and as soon as I get back to Chuma, I'm going to take everything off and finally put some shorts on. Yeah, I think I might have extremely white legs. Sorry, I only caught some parts of that question. Can you just repeat that, please? That's a nice question. Undoubtedly, it's going to be Impala. Yeah, Impalas are very well distributed out here. They are the most successful antelope in Africa. So yeah, they're going to be the most, or the individuals that populate the most of the game reserves, which is actually quite nice because obviously not nice for the Impala, but it's nice for the predators that they've got food source and a constant amount of food source. So Impalas will they fill a niche, so they're going to feed multitudes of predators. Even big African rock pythons will go for full-grown impalas. It's quite rare, but it can happen. So yeah, good question there, Nadia. Yeah. And then there's a few species of antelopes that are quite rare, like roan antelope, sable antelope. Yeah, they're probably the least, I would say.
7 of our favourite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Juma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Heart's cub, adventurous and brave, and daughter to one of our most loved mothers. Is her name Moya, meaning wind or soul, for that adventurous side? Is it Shiluva, meaning flower, for her growth? Or is it Mbilo, meaning heart, as Heart's daughter with a heart on her side? Head over to our website to cast your vote. 7 of our favourite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Juma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Corky's cub, the boldest and proudest of the group. Is their name Koa, showing boldness, fearlessness and bravery? Is it Kalula, as the energetic and speedy one? Or is it Zunani, the leader? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
Get what? Mind the branch there. There we go. All right, let's send you over to Chris. Let's see what he's doing over there.
I'm still with this heron, and surprisingly he's not flown off. We have moved closer, and he's just enjoying the sun, and that's exactly what we are doing. An unusual opportunity. He is just enjoying it. Look at that. Good morning, Aaron. Aaron wants to know, how was my first night back in a tent? Aaron, it was delightful. I've mentioned this before, I love camping. And it was just amazing to, how can I explain it? There's no vehicle noises, nothing other than the bush. Remember, we've got no fences, nothing around our camp. At times there are buffaloes and elephants moving through. Not last night. I mean, I was actually quite tired, to be honest. I had a long day of travel, but it was amazing. Camping is always great. It was cold, I can tell you that. But spending time in nature in any fashion is always a bliss. It's just amazing, and I'm really hoping to tell some more stories about what's happening around the tent. I mean, my previous shift, there was all sorts of things happening. A buffalo that tried to lift my tent up the one night. One night the hyenas ran off with my trousers that I hanged up outside, which I managed to track the next day, much to the delight of the entire camp staff. That was another story we'll tell another day. But yeah, it's camping life, you know. It's amazing. Our hot water, we've got this structure called a donkey, which our South African viewers will know very well, which is a fire-induced sort of geyser system, and it just takes me back to my childhood when my dad and I used to camp, and I'm hoping to do the same with my kids. And we have done a few camping trips with them. They're still young, but I'm always saying that, you know, especially with kids, you know, take them out of the city, take them into nature, expose them to nature, and
7 of our favourite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Ntima's first cub, and they're turning out to be quite the handful. Is their name Loki, after the Norse god of mischief and trickery? Is it Hlongavi, the one who can't be tamed? Or is it Shihleko, full of giggles? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
The Safari Guide of the Year 2022 is approaching us rapidly. This year, we'll be heading to Bushwise Field Guides at the Southern African Wildlife College from the 27th June till the 2nd of July. We will soon meet all our contestants who are vying for the prize of being the very best of the best, and the judges who will put them through their paces. Join me, Steve Falconbridge, as we dream it, guide it, win it.
And back to our grey heron. Still basking, still not moved. So I think this is a good opportunity to head back to Trish to see what the hyena's up to.
Well, here there's a lot of tussling going on. Oh no. Ntima's cub had Corky's cub by the ear. So since we were talking about names and I was telling you about personality, no. If you don't touch, I'm not going to shout at you. I said, thank you. And right back. Hey, I see you. I see you. I see you. Do not touch. Do not. Siobhan, was it Siobhan? Sorry guys, all the actions happening so close to the vehicle that it's difficult to show you. But Siobhan wanted to know if any male hyenas have been around the den. I've only seen Comet around the den. I haven't seen any of the clan males. I'm not sure if you've managed to see many of the clan males just in general. Bless you, Panda. Panda has a great ability to be able to quieten his sneeze. I can't do that. Mine just gets out. Okay, time for the binoculars. Already out. Because I see, sorry guys, that's my hat, my cap. Okay, so the cub that is anal pasting, or like trying to anal paste, slightly darker one, of Intima's 2 there, that looks male. It's the one with the scar or the injury behind the left ear. I am still here, and you can't come here, because I am still here.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose. Does your dad watch WildEarth? Why not send him a special message on Father's Day? Possibly he's living elsewhere and you can connect through WildEarth. Or maybe he'll be sitting next to you on the sofa. Either way, show him you care by logging into our website and submitting your message, which we hope to relay on Safari Live. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Shaking your binoculars at them also seems to deter them from your vehicle. Top tip here from Shushala at the Hyena Den. Dorothy, you say they never listen. Classic Hyena Den moments. Dorothy, I think that I'm getting somewhere because I do this. I make eye contact with them and I speak directly to them, and I also shake my finger. And I think that just seems to make them more curious about who is this, what is this thing that's moving and looks like it's communicating with us. So it distracts them from the vehicle. Definitely doesn't make them leave the vehicle alone. It just distracts them because there's this woman waving her finger at them and talking to them as if they can understand her. A lot of stuff is happening in front of the vehicle, so I just have to duck my head down. Can I pick my head up? Okay. Just that will just help me see and sex the cubs. Very curious, everyone's sniffing about. They have such well-developed olfactory senses, but you can't just be born with that. You in fact have to develop those. So there, you may have the right mechanics to facilitate a great sense of smell, but that does two things. It needs practice. So you keep on smelling everything, and the other thing is because you have such a well-developed sense of smell, you want to smell everything, so it works together. Anyway, let me send you over to Andrew. He's at Gowrie Dam. Excuse me.
All right, folks, we're here at Gowrie Dam. So earlier on we had a question, what is the most common antelope in the most population is going to be Impala. Have a look here. We've got quite a big group of Impala here, all around this water hole over here. Just before you came to me, there were some nice rutting sounds. I don't know if you've ever heard the rutting sound of Impala, but it's quite intense. It's quite a hectic sound when you hear them rutting. Can be mistaken for predators, easily. Magic, look there. Beautiful, nice silhouetting. Half silhouette. You can hear the oxpeckers. All right, so that's red-billed oxpeckers that you're hearing calling there. Quite important for the animals as they comb the ticks off the bodies of the impalas. They don't pick them off because picking the ticks off usually leaves the head behind, which is no good. So the oxpeckers literally start combing their body in a combing fashion, and this maximizes how many ticks they're actually going to remove off the impala's body. So very clean animals. You can see it looks like someone brushed them this morning and washed them. They are constantly clean by removing ticks off their bodies and off each other's bodies as well, what they call allo grooming. They remain clean. And by avoiding ticks, it means that they're going to be avoiding diseases. Yeah, so another reason why they're very successful is that they avoid diseases.
Thought you had daddy issues? Well, think again. Not all dads in the wild have the most commendable parenting skills. Here at WildEarth, we've seen many fathers who will go to the end of the earth for their young. And also, tragically, the ones who'd rather just eat them for breakfast. In honor of Father's Day on the 19th of June, we're excited to welcome James Henry back to WildEarth to host a special Explorers Fireside Chat in honor of all the wild dads at Djuma.
7 of our favorite furballs are ready to rumble and receive names as members of the Djuma clan. And who better to name these cubs than you? This is Ntima's second-born, and dare we say golden child, full of fun? Is their name Kira, the beam of light? Is it Kemba, meaning faithful in Norse? Or is it Mikateko, the blessed one? Head over to our website to cast your vote.
You can see they're very vigilant, they're very aware of their surroundings and what's going on around them. The next use for those black lines on their bottom is actually for the herding ticks on their body. And you're going to find that a lot of animals are going to have ticks around their groin area. And this is where the blood vessels are situated on the surface, and the skin is obviously soft as well. So Impala, what they'll do is when they want to remove ticks off their groin, and this is an area that they cannot reach. So as much as they try, they can't reach their groin area. So pointing their bum towards the sun. This makes their black lines on their bottom becoming quite warm, and the blood vessels, which are situated, on the surface there in the groin by their groin, starts to surface on the sides as well, because it's becoming warm by those black stripes. Now the ticks that are all congregated and grouping in the groin area, they're going to start to move around for the space, and there's going to be other blood vessels available, and so they'll move onto those black lines trying to get to their blood, and that is the most furthest point in which the impalas can reach those ticks. So in a sense, they are trying to herd the ticks onto a part of their body so that they can turn around and actually reach them. It's a very clever adaptation that impala have, for tick control. You'd never think. You look at black stripes on the animal's body, and you're going to think to yourself, "Oh, that's for ticks." You'd never think that. It's very interesting behavior, that. Okay, and there's a nice view of Gari Dam. Not too far from Djuma. Beautiful, beautiful. No hippo in there at the moment. Yeah. Morning, Desmond. That's a nice question as well. What does it mean if you see an impala that's all by itself? It could be that it's been out-competed and it's trying to sort of find its way back to another group. Another situation is being separated by predators. So definitely when predators make a move in here, these impalas are all going to scatter, and from time to time you might get a one that is by itself for a period of time. Just want to turn the vehicle just a little bit more so we can have a look at the impalas over there. But folks, bear in mind that impalas do extremely well in a group, in a herd. And if they do become separated for a period of time, generally that animal's going to get taken down by a predator. They're extremely vulnerable by themselves. Black-collared barbets calling in the background. Linda, that's also a good question. I've done research on this before, but the thing is, some people have told me that it's not quite correct. So I'm not 100% sure. But apparently, in the Zulu language, the word impala refers to the month of November, and this is when the lambs are born. In the November months. So could be that the Zulus, and apparently this dates back all the way to King Shaka's day, where he named the impala. He actually named this animal, and it's stuck ever since. Some people say, and what I've read is that it refers to the month of November, and that's the lambing season, the official lambing season for impala. And you can see how clean they are. Very, very clean animals. Here's a female, a male bearing horns. Some species of antelopes, males and females will bear horns, but not impala. Listen there.
Long misunderstood as dim-witted, gluttonous scavengers, the hyena over the years has had a serious PR crisis on its paws. Here at WildEarth, our beloved Djuma clan has allowed us a chance to set the record straight.
We're sitting here with the Djuma clan.
So now it's time to honor this critical animal and join our hyena hullabaloo. Trishala Naidu, a self-confessed hyena lover, will be leading the celebrations, culminating in a chance to name Ribbon's new cubs.
right, folks, we're going to send you over to Trish, but before we do that, I'd just like to say goodbye to you all. So I don't know if I did mention briefly yesterday that I'm actually on my interview drive, so I'm hoping to get a job here. But yeah, we hope to see you in the future, and stay tuned watching Wild Earth. We appreciate your support. All right, enjoy. Have a good weekend.
I'm sure that Andrew is also hoping to get a breakfast burger before he gets out of here, in true Juma style. I've been having a lot of fun out here at the den. It's been very relaxed, actually. The cubs aren't moving around too much, but there's, oh, look at this. That's one way to get your friend to come play. While they're eating, just pull them by the scruff. Don't do that, kids. It's not nice. And it's not a great way to make friends. Swazi likes that. Cubs coming to clean her teeth. So that's Corky's cub. And Corky, being the matriarch, means that this cub has inherited her rank. And when hyenas show their teeth to each other, even though it's it looks quite aggressive, it's quite a submissive gesture, especially if the head is down. As for Intima's two cubs, one is just chilling on Swazi's head. That's so sweet. While the other one of Intima's cubs looks like me after I've taken an Allergex. It's an antihistamine, if any of you are wondering. There was some great appreciation for the morning drive there. Thanks, everybody. We have had a good time. It was a bit slow, but also well paced. It was a good drive through the bush. It wasn't there wasn't a lot of hype, but it felt like a good normal day, you know? And I like a good normal day. Just kind of feels like everything's good. These cubs look very, very happy. Everyone is satisfied, and like me, they look a little bit tired with all the sun. Well, it's that time, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad you had fun. Thanks for your questions and comments. We'll see you in the afternoon.
Advised.
Wow, what a change of weather. I must say, I left Johannesburg this morning in freezing temperatures, and I'm so happy to be back out here in the bushveld with some form of livable temperature. And what a welcome back party. And yes, this is not deja vu. This is me. I'm Chris. With me